My name is Sunil. I'm from Delhi. Talking about my educational qualification, I have done BTech from Punjab Technical University. When it comes to my professional life, I have been an English teacher for quite some time, where I try to train people for their communication skills. Where whatever little I know, I just try to share that knowledge with my students. If I talk about my hobby, I love listening to music. So that's all about me.
You have been in teaching. You are not in teaching currently? You have stopped teaching now?
No, I have been doing that.
Okay, you have been doing that. Okay, quite some time. Okay, nice.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I'm talking to, I must say, an English teacher or English trainer.
Yes, sort of.
Okay, good to know about you, Sunil.
Yes.
Um, if I have to give you my introduction, I hail from Punjab, and my question state to you is to you that you have done your graduation from Punjab Technical University. Have you ever been to Punjab?
Yes, I used to live there. For 4 years, I was there. And as the matter of fact, my college was in Laldu. It was between Ambala and Chandigarh.
Hmm. Okay.
Yes. So,
And of course, one common thing which we both share, we both are on this journey of learning English. I don't know why you are here because you told me that you are already an English trainer, but I'm working on my communication skill at the moment because in Punjab or everywhere we always converse, and even in the schools or colleges the medium of instruction is mostly it is in the regional language,
hmm.
and I love this language English a lot. So that's why now these days I'm working on my communication skills.
Yes, and I also consider myself that I'm also a learner. If you want to be the best teacher, you have to be a learner. This is what I'm doing. And when I talk to people like you, where I get an opportunity to learn various things, so I'm always open to learning new things. So I guess today I'm also going to learn. And I also get my knowledge checked whenever I talk to different people or whenever you talk to strangers. You are put in a situation where you have to talk or where you have to express your opinion when being in an uncomfortable zone. When you are in an uncomfortable zone, then the true person, that the true knowledge comes out. So this is what I try to do.
If you consider yourself that you are a learner, only then you can grow. And
Hmm.
once you start feeling that I'm done with everything, then it means you are in a stagnant phase now. There is no more learning left for you. Then what is the sense of being alive, being living on this planet Earth? If
True. And I would love to know this from you, that being a teacher, what kind of changes you have brought in yourself?
being a teacher,
Yes.
I tell you, because initially I made one thing clear to you that though I have been in this arena for the last so many years, but at this very moment I'm not directly into teaching. But
Hmm.
yes, I have always been in contact with the young blood because
Hmm.
my institutions have always been the colleges. Okay. Yes. If you ask me when I was directly in touch with the youngsters like you, when I
Hmm.
used to teach them, and what kind of changes I could bring inside me. Sunil, I have been a very ordinary student. So at that time, that very time, so many fundas related to my subjects were not clear to me.
Hmm.
And to come into teaching was not on my cards. I always wished to become an entrepreneur.
All right.
Right? But situation came my way that life brought me into this arena. Like once you are done with your qualification, because now you belong to your today's generation, where you are quite smart as compared to the people of my generation, and you are quite aware of that after 5 years where do you want to see yourself. Okay, then you make the plans, the blueprints according to that. when I was at your age, though this thing was there on my card that I want to get the higher education, the best of the education. But at that very time, I don't remember even at the single moment that I could frame my plan of the next 5 years. I was the eldest in my family, and my mom was just a government school teacher. But
Right.
only thing which was there in my mind that I want to do graduation, then post graduation, then that thing was there. That was clear to me. So once I was done with that basic kind of qualification, then the situation was what to do, how to become an entrepreneur. So at that very time, for the girls and the Indian girls and the Punjabi girls or the girls of the mediocre families, once they are done with their education, then the sole responsibility parents take it as like to get the girls married. And if she is done with the some good, reasonably good qualification, then teaching is the best option. So teaching came my way this way. But the day I became a lecturer or a teacher, I took it as a challenge.
Hmm.
Like I didn't take it. I remember that you are going in the classroom and after 45 minutes are done, you are back. No, I always had this feeling that I want to prove myself as a very good teacher. And I knew at that time that some of the concepts related to these particular topics are not clear to me. So, your question is what kind of changes I could bring inside
Hmm.
me as a teacher.
Hmm.
I started learning, reading, understanding everything at my own, making all the notes, then imagining those things. My subject is science, pure sciences. Okay. Like if they are the equations or they are the reactions or they are the cycles, I used to start imagining. So, being in the shoes of a teacher, I
Hmm.
started learning as a student. Once I was done with the concept, like tomorrow I have to deliver this lecture related to this topic, day before I would prepare myself fully.
Hmm.
And believe it, Sunil, I reached at that very level that those topics which had been a kind of terrific for me when I was a student, and when
Hmm.
I learned everything at my own as a teacher, I used to teach my students in such a way that after I was done with the period was over, I used to have the feeling no one else can do better than you, Kavalchit.
Right.
So
Yes.
I took my teaching to that very level. And
Hmm.
I would like to share it with you with pride that my students used to adore me.
Hmm.
So the field which had never been on my cards, that became my passion. So you can make out what kind of changes I brought in myself.
Hmm.
So I was at the same time, I was learning as a student and I was delivering as a teacher.
Yes.
But on the whole, if I take my journey, not only at the professional end, as a person, I believe till date, like at this very moment when I'm sitting before you, I always take it that I'm a student. And I always learn from the person, whosoever is there on the other side of my camera.
Hmm.
And once the session is over, everybody ends up giving me something. My
Right.
sessions never go waste.
Yes. Yes. And it's so nice of you that you take things in this way. And I guess being a teacher, it should be done like this. When you want to be the best teacher, you need to be the best student first. And I do the same, I guess. The teachers who are accomplished in their particular field, they do the same thing. Before they teach anything, they do their own research, and they leave no stone unturned. They burn the midnight oil to understand that particular thing on their own. Once they have the clear picture about that particular topic, then they can explain that particular thing impeccably. And they also have a couple of examples for that. First, you need to understand, you need to enjoy what you are going to teach. If you enjoy
Mm.
yourself, it is blatant that other people are also going to enjoy that. Yes, that's
You
wonderful.
can easily feel the vibes coming from your student side. While
Yes.
I believe that when a teacher is delivering something to the students, teacher automatically gets to know whether my students are
Right.
imbibing it or not imbibing it. It's
Yes.
very clear. You get it's a kind of your performance in on the stage of a theater. Immediately you get the response.
Yes, true. Yes, it's entirely true that whatever we teach, we can see that through their expressions. When they are lost in that particular thing, it means yes, they are enjoying that. And the moment they start yawning, this is
Yeah.
understood. Okay, whatever I'm teaching, whatever I'm doing is not up to the mark. I better evolve my methods. And this
Mm.
is this is utmost important. That's how we need to teach. But ma'am, very few people are like that. When where they have a sense of responsibility, where they feel okay, whatever I'm given, I'm going to bring some changes in my students. But there are some teachers, they know that they are paid whatever job they are at. They know that they are paid, whether their students are going to understand or not. They does not take any tension for that.
Yeah. Um, every kind of stuff is there all around us. But I
Yes.
feel as a teacher, you have so much big responsibility on your shoulders. It's not like any other profession. One I consider the more responsible the field is, that is one of teaching, another of being a doctor.
Oh yes.
Mm.
Yes, that I agree with you up to a point. But whatever you choose, whatever profession you choose, it is up to you how appropriately you do that. You can put your best foot, you can put your best foot forward in anything, whatever you do. Either you are a plumber, or
Yeah.
you are a driver, whatever you do, or you are a banker. And it is also up to the people. Like whatever they do, they must have their deep interest in that particular thing. Some
Mm.
people are forced to do things, and some people don't like doing what they truly do. All right, so apart from
But if
teaching,
you are paid, if
right?
you are paid for something, your that pay package should be justified at your end also. As I told you that educate this teaching was never on my cards, but what come in whatever form I came into this field and I was being paid for that. I think again, whether you are working as a plumber or a technician, or you are working in MNC, or you are a doctor, or you are whatever you field you belong to, you should justify that. Either if you want to stay there, or otherwise you don't stay there.
Right.
But either you love it or you don't love it, but you are paid for that. Okay. So many people, and they are depending upon your field, their emotions, and there's so much of the stuff is invested in that the field which you are dealing with, then it becomes your responsibility to justify it also.
Yes,
Some
true.
people love it, but some either you don't love it, but you can take it as a responsibility. You may not be enjoying it, but you consider it that this is my responsibility, and you should have that integrity, and you should try to justify that also.
Yes, absolutely. And I don't feel, do you have free time, or do you enjoy your free time? What do you usually like to do in your free
Uh,
time?
Please, Neil, frankly speaking, I'm not left with any free time
Yes.
because now for the last 1 year I'm totally into whenever I'm having time, I used to go for these conversations, or I make my own shorts or podcast, whatever you say. I'm busy. I used to spend my time over there. If I'm left with, rather, I'm not left with any extra time. I used to spare time for these things because
Yes.
I'm a working professional. So majority of the quality time of the day that is spent in my office.
Yes.
And as I told you, I travel a lot. Travel a lot in the sense my workplace is in some other city, and almost in a day, 3 hours I spent on just going to the office and coming back. But if you feel I have some time, otherwise I don't remember I am left with the time. No, then I would like to enjoy that time with my pets. I have two
Oh,
beautiful pets.
All right.
and they are my stress relievers as well. Then I have my old parents, three old parents.
All
So
right.
though I won't say that directly I'm taking care of them, but I have managed the things. I have deputed the people and I supervise that thing, that all their requirements are met well on time,
All right.
whatever they need.
All right.
So I don't remember any free time when not doing anything. I'm taking a nap, or I'm not a TV person. I don't see any daily soaps. Only at the time of dinner, when we three four members in the family we are together, and just we watch news channel, any news channel at the maximum.
Mhm.
That's all we are done with. Otherwise, we remain busy throughout the day.
Right. Yes, true. And I guess the work you are in, that you must have been snowed under with multiple things. Okay, I would also like to know that, as you said, that you love traveling, or you have a sort of thing, or you have a piece of work where you like to travel. So, do you miss anything whenever you go to other states that you usually get in Punjab?
Actually, Sunil, I want to correct my statement. If I have used this word, I love traveling. I might have said I used to travel a lot. Travel a lot, it's my compulsory traveling to my workplace. It's that kind of, it's a monotonous kind of. Every day I'm leaving my city, Jalandhar, and moving to another city, which is taking 1.5 hour every day in the morning. And when I'm back to my city, again, it is consuming almost about 2 hours, because whenever I'm back, that is the office time and there is a great rush on the roads, and the traffic is bumper to bumper. So this is the kind of traveling. But whenever we could spare time, then we used to travel to the hilly area just to refreshen ourselves, just to break that monotonous. You take a break from the monotonous life. This is the kind of traveling we do. But at that time, I'm not on the driving seat. My husband is always on the driving seat, because whenever he's with me, he never allows me to drive. But otherwise, I do most of the stuff at my own. So whether I'm work doing something related to my work, even for the last uh, 7 8 years, my job, rather 10 years, have been to different cities. I mean,
Hmm.
away from, I every day I used to be away from my city. Then you are to go to attend the meetings. Again, you are going to some another city. So that way, all the traveling or majority of the traveling which I do is related to my job only.
All
So it's
right.
not a layered kind of traveling, but yes, as a driver, I love driving. So you may say, like, I just turn on my music, and when I know that it's going to consume my 2 hours, so
Mhm.
I used to spend that time on listening music. But of course, these days I prefer to listen to the contents related to English language as well. And I start creating situations inside my mind, and I used to practice my speaking skills. And a number of times I would stop my car on the way because I'm stuck with some word, and I would open the notebook of my phone, and that I would look for that what was that word which I want to use here, because
Mm.
this is a new word I have learned. And I because when we are not in practice, we used to forget the words, the good
Mm.
words, you can say the
Mm.
fancy words. So I do that kind of thing also. I would stop the car on the highway, then I would scroll down my notebook, then once I'm done with that word, okay, then I will restart my car, and I will be back to my journey. So
Right.
this way I do traveling, driving, learning at the same time.
Yes, excellent. Yes, and that's how we can learn things. And one more thing is there, that how do you maintain the right pronunciation? I know that people have different dialects. Being the part of Punjab, as you are from Punjab, if someone is from Haryana, they have different dialect, and a bit I was able to sense, okay, ma'am must be from Punjab, because when it comes to music, so it is pronounced a bit differently when Punjabis pronounce it. So how to maintain that? Because you must be speaking authentic Punjabi.
Yeah, I speak authentic Punjabi, and I think every second or third expert, because whenever I take the sessions from the experts, also, I think everybody ends up saying everything is fine, perfect, and you have a little bit of your mother tongue influence. So,
Yes.
the answer to your question is, Sunil, it is obvious that because it's a matter of pride as well, because that is my identity. If my Punjabi reflects from some of my accent, I think it's a matter of pride for me that it proves that this is my identity. But I try to, whenever I'm conscious, then I try to lay emphasis on the words as per the exact pronunciation. Like a number of times, whenever somebody points me out that this mother tongue influence is there, and I'm about to use some word which I have been using for the last so many years, all of a sudden it would come in my mind. Why not to check it from the YouTube? That how would the native speakers they pronounce it? So off and on, I keep on checking those pronunciations, and a number of times I get to know, my God, I was pronouncing it in such a wrong way, and I have been doing it for so many years.
Hmm.
So I keep on and off. I do this thing also. That how
Hmm.
this word. This is a very common word, but I want to know how the native speakers they pronounce it.
Right.
Like as I told you that I'm a science person, and in science say pronounce calcium, potassium. This and recently I got to know it's not calcium; it is calcium. So
Hmm.
I keep on checking those pronunciation this way also.
Yes. I guess this is significant to know what is the right pronunciation if you want to sound professionally correct. And
Yeah.
for me, I also face a lot of problems when it comes to the right pronunciation. Ma'am, there have been numerous words which I have to track time to time. Okay, this is going to be the right pronunciation. And if I and recently I read a new word that is deleterious. Earlier I used to pronounce it deleterious. So now I got to know that. And if I'm speaking a bit fast, there I will not be able to have its right pronunciation. But I was very much conscious. Okay, I'm going to use this word in my conversation. I would try to have its right pronunciation. That's why I said it correctly. If I'm in a flow of speaking, then I might end up making a mistake in it. And yes,
That's why I said that once you do the things consciously,
right,
then you try to come up to the exact way. But
right,
once you go in a flow, you forget. Like a number of times, whenever I'm conversing with anybody, mostly what happens is that I get engrossed into the content that I used to forget that I have to focus, I have to concentrate on my pronunciation and my
right,
language. I'm here just to hone my communication skills and work on my English language, which I used to forget because I used to, get into the flow of the person on the other side, whatever he is talking, he is saying, the kind of life the person is living. And by the time the session is over, then the thing came to my mind. Oh, shit! I was to focus on this thing, and I used to forget it. So yeah, whenever you do the things consciously, you use the word consciously, then I also uh, succeed in making it or pronouncing it correctly. But
right,
once I'm in the flow, that thing fades out of my mind. So I'm again back to the similar kind of, you know,
right.
my way. But
Yes,
it happens with everybody.
yes, yes.
It's a normal thing.
Yes, yes, ma'am. It happens with everyone, but I think it is up to us. It is incumbent on us that how we take it. When you want to represent or when you want to portray yourself 100% correct, there you have to take care of that, and you have to think twice before you say anything. You have to be very particular about your words, whatever knowledge you are sharing, whatever you are discussing.
Um, I may vary here to some extent, Sunil. I feel sometimes making mistakes, natural kind of making mistakes, which happen unconsciously, that beautifies your personality because once you become very conscious, you can't present your true self, isn't it?
Yes, it
So
is.
to some because we are not here to prove anything. Yeah, might be that you are an English trainer, might be in your case, you might be taking it very consciously. But
Hmm.
I have seen the people, okay, I just simply give you one example. Whenever we converse in our regional language, don't we make the mistakes? We do make the mistakes.
Yes, yes,
Number of
right.
times we find ourselves unable to come up with the correct kind of word. But because
Exactly.
once the meaning is clear, we are done with that.
Right.
So I take this journey that way because I feel you should present yourself as a true self, like what you are, what I am as a person.
Hmm.
I shouldn't try to portray which I'm not. Yes, I'm trying to make my language better, and I'm sure with the span of time, definitely, because if go back to my memory lane, when I started, when I came on this platform, when I took this step that okay, I have to work on my communication skills or my language, and
Hmm.
today I'm finding lots of difference. Initially I was quite hesitant, I was not confident, I used to fumble a lot. Now I know, I'm aware of it, that I'm making mistakes when I'm speaking to somebody in English, but I have become so confident that a number of times my mistakes might be going unnoticed also, or the
Right.
other person gives me the benefit of doubt as well.
Yes, right. Ma'am, it is
Yeah.
because the experience we have. Once you have the experience and subconsciously you know, okay, what you are saying, it's going to be correct because you have spent time with that. Once you spend particular time with particular thing, then it is obvious that you are going to speak very well. And ma'am, when it comes to me, I as I have been saying this, I always take it as a responsibility. I feel it's my honest to be correct. If I'm not correct, so whosoever I'm teaching, they will not be correct. And
Hmm.
I worship this profession. This is something I cannot live without. And like I have unconditional love for English. That's why I try to be second to none for this profession. Whenever I speak, whatever I do, whether it's my pronunciation or vocabulary I'm going to use or the sentence structure I'm using, I also take care of my grammar a lot. So keeping this in mind, ma'am, like I try to learn and yes, and when I talk to people like you, honestly speaking, ma'am, when I talk to people, those who are not very good at this particular language, when they take it so casual, so that point of time I'm not this much particular. Right now, I'm taking care of my every word, whatever I'm speaking. I'm telling myself, okay, you must not say this because it might get a sorry figure. So when I talk to people like you, there it's very interesting. There, I don't know what happens. I something turns on, and then I speak very well. It's my forte. I feel.
Hmm. So how should I take it then? That the people like me, they put you in some comfort zone.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you do.